Mahama kwaba emra channel social swam say how say POG Media political stories say training make we say big headlines and ya ini be so much channel so channel swam say first time me subscribe to the channel now I feel living nice comment based on asem you discuss no na channel swam say asem that pon so YouTube channel basa enesre enedue eye Madam Vera and wetimi release some key points bia you know bitimi aboa ama NDC a remaining opposition and same be sa no kan yemu na so ye 1970 bi we be sa transe na yasan ayasem no pensim e wo channel so channel so am say ahasi POG Media
NDC minority in parliament, my good sister Beatrice and all their friends. I challenged them this morning. Today is
the 7th of March.
7th. We are already here. This afternoon they are adoring the same value running mate. Okay. I challenged them tomorrow, Friday, to go and commission their botched $300 million STX deal. Tomorrow, they should go and commission it. They should thereafter go and commission their Hope City, the 10 billion.
The Hope City,
they should go. It is government. You said you are providing 30%, and then 70%, and then it is government and private.
Not a government project.
I know better than you. So,
but that's her party.
So what I'm saying, what does she know about it? It's just about calling names, and I challenge her to give one. I told her earlier she should give just one thing they will do differently. That Ghanaians should consider and even consider
the
them.
24
that is not a policy. That is not a policy.
No.
That's not a policy.
Hold on, please allow her to speak.
Going to buy watch at 1 a.m. You tell me it's a policy. What are you talking about? Look, what we are saying as an MPP is that if NDC minority if they have any iota of truth in them, they should go and commission the STX. They should go and commission the Hope City first.
Okay.
You see, and I will read a quotation for them. Let me read it.
That's justification for the National Cathedral.
I will read a quotation. And Bella, I want you to keep this video, today's interaction.
Okay.
That for what the NDC have done, they did yesterday. Put me on record that 2024 election, they are going to lose it.
Because of what they did yesterday?
Yes. And I'm going to read something for you.
Okay.
I want our viewers to keep this clip. And I'm saying because of what they did, they are going to lose the election miserably.
Okay.
They are bringing the same value, Mr. Mahama, and the same value, Professor. They don't have anything differently to offer Ghanaians. All they are coming to do is all what they did. Our Professor Jane is still coming back to cancel the allowances. They are going to bring back school fees. Students will not be able to write their exams. They will be sacked from the exams rooms because they can't pay their exam fee. These are the things they are bringing back. They are going to freeze employment. And I'm reading from the book of Galatians 6:7. They should open their Bible.
Okay.
It's not by my word, by the word of God.
There, you should be finance minister at this point.
God is not mocked. God is not mocked. For whatsoever one sows, that will he also reap. You see, when you do something in the name of God, okay, and then you think that you can mock God, you are not mocking MPP.
Who is mocking God in this case? Is it?
Please, when I land,
okay.
As for the viewer, they even know what I'm talking about already. You are not mocking MPP. You are not mocking His Excellency Addo. You are mocking God. We are talking about a national cathedral for all Christians in Ghana and beyond. And we are soliciting for funds from the public. And then you think you can mock God and you go around making all sorts of statements against God. And you think Almighty. Look, we have more Christians in Ghana than Muslims, than any other religion.
Do you think?
And you think that you do this and they will vote for you?
Do you think that, honestly, if that amount that has been sunk in the hole was used to build a hospital, to save more lives, to provide those beds that you need to probably secure even before you get an ambulance to pick you up, that would not have been in honor of God more than building or sinking a hole with that much money in the name of building a national cathedral?
Bella, if the NDC had sunk the 300 million into what you have said, we won't be in the mess that we are trying to solve now.
We have to go.
Let's be honest with ourselves. They have nothing different to offer. The same value. We have done so much.
Okay.
And we will continue to serve
by sinking a hole.
We haven't sunk a hole. At least, when they went there, they got something to commission.
A hole?
It wasn't a hole.
What is it?
At least, what you showed was not a hole.
What is it,
And a lot has gone into it. Even the passport office she mentioned. Have you seen the ultra-modern glass passport office we've put up? When she talked about pulling down the judges' buildings, has she seen the ultra-modern, flashy judges accommodation infrastructure we have provided?
Have you paid that money to Waterstone Reality Apartments?
I'm saying that.
Have you done that?
Have you seen it? Still in court? Have you seen it?
That case is still in court. You have not compensated them for pulling down their structure.
Pulling what structure? You are talking about where the
Waterstone Realty Apartment structure. They've taken you to court.
A better one.
You didn't compensate
them.
That is why they are
this country. We are fixing the country.
All this
media. Media can I say political news and it is some or channel so. Na shene so am say ugbe rema na wa comment na afi wa share na wa like na aboa amadwumani na tumi afa ne ntuma pa efra nti sene madam Vera esie no wo tre se John Dramani Mahama esen ekofa madam Jane Mensandia ene na enkane no kan say nkuku omudi no enu bi no mbasan ide abedi because the same value we be in ho asesan incompetency na muchira Ghana for ni wum dada awo John Dramani Mahama pension and one years and be with ma enti we a big chance for MPP and they say hi Akroma your red campaign bo adintra because lose every year. Shana so am say I see POG Media share comment and subscribe and be so intimate and come on me that's why yes sir.
I think somewhere else too is getting their laptops and all that. So that is the difference. It's not about the F cube as a name or on paper was there. Yes, that's a fact. But I'm saying that under this current government, these are some of the successes. And so if we are celebrating the Independence Day, the question is it worth celebrating? And I'm saying yes, it's worth celebrating because we've made so much improvement. We've chalked so much successes, and that's why I'm giving you these examples to buttress the point that we've come from far, and this is where we are, and more is underway. I mean, even when you look at the routes, when you take all the routes from Accra to Kumasi stretch, from Accra to Central Region stretch and all that, you see that work is ongoing currently. And that is what development is about.
I see.
It's not about just talk. It's not about just everyday battle between MPP and NDC. It's about the practicality. It's about the realistic things happening on the ground. And so Ghanaians, yes, we need to celebrate. We've come from far. A lot has been done. A lot is being done. And we need to pat our shoulders. And we need to accept that there are challenges. And challenges will perpetually be with man. But with good leadership like what we have and what we are likely to have going forward, things will continue.
So you
to
say
get
that
better.
As it stands now, Ghana has good leadership?
Oh,
under President Akuffo.
Why not? Of course.
I see. Let me come to Beatrice so she can tell me what she makes of the president's statement yesterday and whether we should even be celebrating our 67th independence in this manner.
Good morning to you, Bella, and good morning to our cherished viewers. I want to say that happy 60th anniversary to or Independence Day to the people of Ghana. And I say happy 60th, not as a mistake.
Why do you say 60th?
Because I believe that the 7 years out of our 67th years has been wasted. we practically have been in the state of retrogression. And we must admit it to be able to do something about it. Today, and if you listen to the president and you read the speech, it is evident that the president, for the first time in a celebration, is not celebrating the successes of the nation. In fact, the president's primary occupation is that despite the mismanagement, despite the recklessness, despite the excruciating hardships that we find ourselves in, there hasn't been a coup. And so we should be happy for our democracy. Hence the choice, our democracy, our pride.
Is that not a fair statement to make or a good
thing
to celebrate?
Oh, yes, it's a fair statement to make. Nobody is saying that. And I'm saying that the reason is because today we are not counting the journey. We are not counting where Kwame Nkrumah left us and to say that, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, we are continuing where you left us. Because even the motorway that Kwame Nkrumah constructed and left for us, under this government, they can't do rehabilitation. They cannot even do maintenance. The president's speech, for me, respectfully, was very hollow, filled with a lot of inaccuracies. So first of all, the president claims Tete Kwashi is from Mampong. Why he didn't do social studies in school. The speech writers had to just embarrass him in the manner they did. Must everything come from the president's hometown? You have taken away the Ga lands. Your party people have practically taken away Ga lands. Today, the Gas are fighting that the lands which are vested and they are being divested should not be given to your party apparatchiks, as if that is not enough. You demolished the people of La, the hospital. For 7 years, the people of Greater Accra, we haven't seen anything. For every developmental project that we can pinpoint to in Greater Accra, it is not because the MPP government did it. And then the small Tete Kwashi that we've been using to pride ourselves in our Ga songs, and when they ask what is the contribution of the people of Ga to the national growth and development, we'll quote Tete Kwashi. That one the president wants to take away. It's not. I think that is very embarrassing, especially in the presence of a foreign president. I think that is most embarrassing, and the president must stop embarrassing the nation in his speeches. I think for this one, much as it doesn't go to the economy and the lives of people, I think the president can do better.
Shouldn't that have been overlooked?
No, it can't be overlooked because the president is not a foot soldier. He was speaking in his capacity as a president. And for you to have come from the eastern region, for you to have appropriated something which is as basic, a simple Wikipedia search would even give you this answer. It's something that, I mean, the president can plagiarize speeches. That we can forgive because if they don't run the plagiarism test, you have no way to know that, okay, I'm just regurgitating what the former president of the US has said. But for this one, it's too basic. And I think this one, the Ga Dangme caucus in the MPP even agrees with me. And so the first person to have even called out the president is Ayuko.
Yeah.
And I think that you should be worried. You, Bella, they are taking your hometown person away. And you should be more worried than even me because I'm from Nungwa. You are from
Well, that's why the president of the Gadangbe tribe released that statement.
Yes. So
and yesterday he spoke
I think that's
extensively
very embarrassing. And we hope that we don't have to face that national embarrassment again. The first plagiarized speech, some inaccuracies we can forgive, but celebrating heroes on a day such as this, we should not distort history. But having said that, the president also made a statement that some 220 million cedis have been allocated to aid the flood victims, and goes ahead to say that 80 million cedis has been disbursed.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I made a sigh.
Why?
And I said, who did this to us? When Kwame Nkrumah said maybe the last stage of imperialism was neocolonialism, he was making those statements in the context when he was fighting the forebears of Nana Addo. I'm sure he contemplated that these people in a certain line, they behave in a certain pattern. You see, the flood victim of, the Nocton, the Sojaman area, the Adan area, this government has not intervened. And if you recall, on 12th February this year, they said that the Interministerial Committee was going to do something. We never heard anything. It took Okujato, a single MP, to build different housing units to house 600 families. I was present at the commissioning of that project. Not even the district assembly supported. Honorable Okujato had to ride on the back of individuals and private donors who came to his aid to put up that edifice for about 600 people. As we speak, more than 2,000 people still live in tents. That which was housing the 200,000 and the 600 families, Bella, does not cost 80 million cedis.
How much does it cost?
I don't know, but I spoke to him yesterday. It does not cost 80. In fact, it does not even cost 40 million cedis. Half of the money. I would not want to put the cost out.
Which is why I was asking that. Did he tell you exactly how much it costs? He should put
the cost out. But what I can tell you is that it does not cost that amount. So if a private individual or an MP whose salary is just about 20-something thousand can come together and marshal forces and put up an edifice for the people of Volta region, and the president is telling us that some 80 million cedis have been released to who, where, and how. Because I thought that maybe the 80 million cedis was not for accommodation. It may be to pay compensation or to help people get back to their normal. None of the people, according to the MPs, none of the affected victims have received 1 cedi from the government. So what are we saying? Are we gradually gaining notoriety for just putting very beautiful things in speeches, so that in the morning we'll come and discuss and dispute and say, oh no, they allocated, oh no, they didn't allocate? Then the discussion should end there. And I urge TV3, you did a very good job on this whole Akosombo spillage thing. Please go back to the communities and ask them whether they have received any support from the government. Because as at yesterday in the evening, I can tell you on authority that nobody has received this amount of money.
You haven't spoken to every single member in that community.
I have spoken to their leader. There is no way the government would disburse any support for families, individuals, without the MP.
But there are many other communities within that enclave.
Yes.
So it's not just his, his constituency that was affected.
The 3 MPs are Honorable Thomas Ampim, then Honorable Comfort Doyu. These are the 3 MPs.
Have you spoken to all of them? And they all say nothing has been given.
Call them. You know, sometimes we can do this. I mean, BBC, they've been doing. Please call them and ask them, because I said as at yesterday, nothing has been done. So if this morning maybe the government intends to do something, that's a different ball game together. And so the president should not be putting these things in the speeches because in the State of the Nation, he forgot to mention it.
You can't say he forgot.
Okay, so he didn't mention it.
He didn't mention it. Doesn't mean that he forgot.
Okay, so he didn't mention. Let me rephrase. He failed to mention it. The Honorable Okujato raised serious concerns, and so some way, somehow, he has to be mentioning this. But when you are mentioning it, it must come with some level of accuracy. You don't do this to a people. And I want to believe that it's not because, like the president said, they don't vote for him. I think that we must move away from this and add a lot of human faith. And when Vera was speaking, she said, in the area of health, we are doing so much. In fact, the Euroject projects which were abandoned, we have completed. She failed to mention a single one. because our recollection of this government's achievement in the area of health is that after receiving 21 billion cedis as a result of the COVID-19, the government does not have a single hospital to show for it. The Agenda 111, which the government touted they were going to build, they have only told Parliament that they cannot do it in 18 months. They can only do it in 2025. Our ranking on health went round the project site. You aired it copiously, and there is no work being done. She also said that, oh, in the area of security, we should be grateful that everything is fine. The fact that we sleep and wake up itself is, were we in a war zone before the MPP took over? What about security? Have they improved? The state of our security today is that it is even more fragile than anything.
But even in the state of the nation, remember the president even gave some assurance that the security, agencies have been equipped, especially looking at the fact that there's been a lot of threat.
Every government
around the coastal region.
See, every government equipped the security agency. Every government from Nkrumah's time. What we are having to deal with, the challenges we are having to deal with today, Bella, is that people who are very old, who even when you say, hey, can fall down, you can just see that physically they are not even fit for purpose. They have been recruited into the military. And up to now, the military has not come out to debunk every allegations that has been made against the recruitment. There are people who are underage, who have not even got their WASI certificate, under the guise of knowing someone in MPP, have been recruited, and they had to wait for their WASI results to come. How do you subject a security agency such as this, that you're supposed to use to fight external aggression? You subject it to this partisanship. We have never seen that. Look at what happened recently in Parliament, where ASP, whatever, I've forgotten his name, went to Parliament scheming to undermine the very constitution of this country by saying that until and unless we change IGP Dampari, we can never win an election. The MPP even went ahead and rewarded him and gave him membership to go and contest for a seat.
The delegates rejected him.
It doesn't matter that the delegates rejected him. It mattered that the whole political party gave him a waiver, because by their own constitution, you cannot contest an election unless you have been a member for more than 4 years. So, within the space he was scheming, and the time he appeared before Parliament.
Are you saying he wasn't a member at that time?
It is even more problematic if he was a member of the MPP, a card-bearing member. What objective security and intelligence would he be gathering to safeguard the security of you and I? If I bumped into that man who is being paid with my taxes, would he look at me with a political eye and say that to hell with you, you are NDC? Or he will remember that he swore an oath to the state and not to a political party? That is the state of the security. Then they said, oh, infrastructure, it is massive. I will not fault Vera, because even the president could not tell us what his achievement as infrastructure is. He only said that we should wait for a performance tracker to be launched. So he could not tell. So I don't expect Vera, in all fairness,
he says all those details are in the performance tracker, and so I think the next month or so when it's launched,
so that's what I'm saying, that if Vera was not able to mention one, I will not fault her, because even the president could not mention one. So
but to be fair, if the president had to touch on everything during the State of the Nation, I don't think that would have left
this president.
Anyone would have left Parliament early enough.
Have you forgotten that in the run-up to the 2020 election, the president went to somewhere in the Volta region and he commissioned, I think, I'm a Wika boy, and he commissioned traffic light. The president didn't leave commissioning of traffic light to the DCE. The president who commissions traffic light, the vice president whose greatest achievement is building toilets, You think that if indeed they have so many monumental ones, they will not even mention 20 and leave the rest, but we have to wait for a year.
He said Agenda 111 will be done by the time he's getting out of office.
By the time he's getting out, not as president. And I'm even telling you that even with the Agenda 111, they cannot even finish more than 10. The agenda is that, let's say 111, various stages of completion. Let's finish 10 by 2025, and let's say that you've done this. What happened to the people of Shama? In the run-up to the 2020 election, they went to cut sword for the people of Shama. We are coming to build an ultra-modern hospital here. Today, the place is back to the forest. We went to Shama just recently. There is nothing at the site.
When did you go there exactly?
We went there just last November. And there is nothing on site. I have spoken to the Shama PC. I'm supposed to be there next month. And one of the things that is bothering the people of Shama is the hospital, and no attention to the recent earthquake thing that happened to them, that man-made disaster also that happened to them in Shama. So I'm trying to say that, and you see, when you lie so much, they must know that the era where we are in, we can easily fact-check you. By the president's own 2024 budget, construction is growing at -5%. So it means you are not growing. So it is not possible that you will say that you are investing in infrastructure and your construction industry will be growing at negative.
Wait for the performance tracker and then
we have to wait.
You can connect the
because
two and
you know
see
why
really...
they did one which was a delivery tracker. I was on your sister station, Metro TV, and I said, let's all go through the delivery tracker. They put it there, 17,000 infrastructure. They could not list it. Anything we search randomly, think some of the things they even said were under construction. You input, no, their communicators' defense was that delivery tracker was 1.0, delivery tracker 1.0. Now they are coming to launch an enhanced one, which is a, you see, we should not be celebrating Independence Day and be talking in the manner in which we are talking, that every macroeconomic indicator, everything is back. What we should be talking about is that Kwame Nkrumah gave us motorway. President Rawlings gave us rural electrification. President Akuffo gave us free maternal health care. But even that, they were not isolated. President Mills came to give us a continuation of infrastructural development. President Mahama gave us the UGMC, the Rich Hospital. He gave us this 200 secondary schools with 46 completion. We should be talking about our success.
Why are you not talking about President Akuffo? Are you saying that he hasn't given us anything?
Because you see, with President Akuffo, for everything he's given us, when you raise a challenge, he says there is no challenge. Because you know what? For every president, the moment you are doing something, even after the first 4 years, you will call for a review of it and say that, oh, this thing is being done rightly. You will hear and listen to the citizens and say that we will tweak this way and change it. But for the MPP, they do no evil. They see no evil.
He said
they
it himself
hear
yesterday
no
that there's a lot more work that needs to be done.
You know why? You know why? For instance, the moment...
Make it brief for me, please.
Yes, let me make it brief. For instance, the moment President Mahama says that, let's review free SHS, because parents are complaining. The food the children are eating is not good. Children are having to sleep on the floor, some in hostels at that age. It is not good. They said that, no, they understand review to mean cancel. Now the president says, oh, because the IMF has asked us to review, we cannot even use the word review, so we agree there has to be improvement. Bella, if you are a leader, it is not enough to say. What you do is more important than what you say. And I'm saying that celebrating 67 years for everything that we use to measure the health of a nation, inflation, unemployment, exchange rate, debt to GDP, interest rate, everything points to the fact that for the past 60 years, we haven't gotten this low.
Okay. Let me bring Vera in to respond to specifically some of the things that you have mentioned. I think the first one would be on the 80 million Ghana cedis that the president says has already been released by the Ministry of Finance to support the ongoing rehabilitation efforts. Beatrice says she's done her checks and nothing has been released to the people who are mostly affected.
You are the referee. I will encourage you that from here, do a follow-up.
Definitely, we're already doing the follow-up.
And then you bring the two of us here next week.
But what can you say? She says she's done her checks.
What I can say is that she's not done any checks because downstream communities that were affected by the Volta, the dam spillage, did not affect only Honorable Ujeto's constituency, but portions of Eastern region, some parts in Greater Accra region, Volta region, and the rest. And so I know her style of communication is just to attack and then all that.
No, don't focus on that. You tell us. So that 80 million
it has been released.
So which communities have started benefiting already?
Almost every community under the Greater Accra, Volta, and Eastern region have benefited. And more is going to be done, especially for their housing needs and all that. But let me quickly touch on a more serious...
Hold on, Vera, before we go.
More serious...
You said benefited. So in what way? Because clearly we can see that some housing facilities have been put up.
Yes.
By Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa after he was able to mobilize resources. We've seen that another media house has been able to put together. In fact, they commissioned these homes. What can you say that government has been able to do
from day
that
one,
we can see?
From day one up to today, as we sit here, let's ask ourselves, the number of people who were displaced, those whose livelihoods, their jobs, and their children's education and everything, has it been on standstill from that day? Life is going on. And why is it so? Because of government support. And so when we sit here like, oh, government has done absolutely nothing, and it is Honorable Okujeto that has gone to put up something for his community members. What about the other community members? That is why I'm saying, go get the visuals, bring the two of us here next week. And the more serious issues that I want to touch on is telling Ghanaians that the MPP government has mismanaged the economy and it is reckless. It is not a fair statement, Bella.
Why is it not a fair statement?
It is not a fair statement because, you see, when my sister Beatrice's government was in power, okay, they were getting all the resources, all the revenue inflow. There was no global pandemic. Our borders were not closed, okay? There was no lockdown. Workers were not locked in their homes, okay?
All that was not there. So share us one say, ye ko yina will leave comment kama na wa share wa subscribe na afi bibia timi ejina na so yifa enti koma e course discussion e course na etwagu mami hu yi say waba leave comment based on this discussion no na afi yem ko yenim share us one say that say you need to be essential channel so but that's be brave.